Good morning. Good to be with you again today on Summit. It's the last week in the month of July. And also this week, we'll be entering into a new month, the month of August. Welcome again, and thanks for joining us. I am Jumoke Michaels. Banji, good morning.
I'll try to make it as brief as
what you
possible.
You could say good morning
yes.
first.
My name is Banji Buhari. It's my pleasure to be here. We're operating from Lagos and yes, former capital, Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we're operating from Ikeja. This is Summit, a program where we update you on the trending issues in the Federation. And today's edition is going to be a very special one, I trust. I want to assure you. My name is Banji Buhari. How was your weekend?
Yes, fine. Thank God. It was a great one. Restful and a bit stressful. But
Jumoke, as we speak, you recall that 2 weeks ago the clash or the protest of the IMM, Islamic, actually the protest in Abuja took a need and became very bloody, leading to the loss of lives. And as we speak today, that organization stands banned, according to the court order on Friday. Now, but the presidency has said that the members of Shiite movement can go ahead and worship and practice their religion. It's the criminality aspects of their activities that remain banned. So they can no longer engage in protest or any form of engagement with the government. So that's it for IMN. Again, for the ministerial lists, some have actually appeared before the Senate. But it's not yet roof, even for those who have appeared. The screening in the Senate is just one of the 3 steps we are made to understand.
Which is a very welcome development.
Yeah, apart from the screening, their certificates, their credentials will be screened, reviewed thoroughly. And the third aspect is that there have been petitions against some of them by members of the public. So that again will also be looked into, having genuineness of those petitions. So those who have found one thing
will be dropped.
Maybe dropped.
I hope,
maybe dropped. So it's not yet over until it is fully over.
All right, we pray that at least some of them will be affirmed, and those who need to be dropped will be dropped. That will send a kind of signal to the people of Nigeria that the APC administration of President Buhari actually means business when he talks about fighting corruption, because that's also a form of fighting corruption. When you pin down the people who are to be probed and you do what's necessary. So it will be a welcome development.
Ensuring that those who scaled all these hurdles are the right pegs round pegs in round holes, and good for us as a nation. Okay,
but today on the program, we are zeroing in on the women participation
in politics.
With the background of the recent appointments and the number of women who were actually in that list is just 7.
7 out of 43.
Out of 43. So when you talk about the role of women, I think it's very necessary we look at it this morning, because it falls below expectations of what especially the President Muhammad Buhari promised during the election. He promised 35% women participation.
But
what we have is 7%.
The affirmative action says 35% of our women folk would actually be involved in active politics and in positions of authority. And when you talk about these positions, you're talking about ministerial positions, even at the state levels, House of Assembly, commissioners, in the National Assembly. You want to see a good number of women who would emerge. As we have found the leader, I mean the 2 houses have appointed their leaders. I am not sure any woman.
But does it mean that women are only? Does it mean that women are only good for campaigning?
That's the question you should ask. You should answer that question.
We have the drive for campaign. We have the energy, you know, to speak and garner the crowd for the people. But when it comes to appointments and giving roles,
in other words, does this figure about 7% in the inclusion of the ministerial, does it actually reflect the capacity, the integrity, and the ability of the women as in delivering service? I mean, their role in nation building. Is it just, can we equate it with the figure we have just been given? So that's the focus today on today's edition of Summit. And Jumoke?
Yes, we'll go on a quick break, and then when we return, we'll have our guest with us. And then Banji is leaving me all alone.
I'm going to excuse myself and allow you to slug it out.
He's leaving me alone with the women this morning, so you are kindly excused.
Yeah, let me excuse myself so that I'll wait in the background and watch how whether you'll be able to ask the right questions.
All right, there's
because
no
I know you have the right guest.
All right.
So.
Okay, we'll go on a quick break, and then when we return, we'll have our women guest on the program this morning. Please don't go away, and don't forget that you can join this conversation this morning by joining on our social media platforms. We have AskSummitTV@gmail.com. That's our email. And then on our Facebook, we are SummitTV/SummitTV.org. And then on the YouTube, we are Summit TV, and also on the Instagram, Summit_current trends. So you can be part of the conversation on these platforms. We'll be back shortly after this break.
I just want your papers, please.
Sorry.
Don't enter. Yes, so. And month never even reach sef. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect roja from my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
Happen.
With good laws,
proper funding,
Training.
and cooperation.
If it happen.
All right, welcome back. It's still Summit. And today on the program, we're talking women participation in politics. And I have two heavyweights here with me in the studio this morning to look into this issue. Well, joining me, I have Honorable Fatimo Mohammed. She was the PDP candidate in Fakojai Federal Constituency during the 2019 elections. And she's also the founder, FAM Foundation, that's Fatimo Aduke Mohammed Foundation. She was also the DG Atiku Nation 2019 election. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the program today.
Yeah, it's good to be home.
After the election.
Yeah, after the election.
Good to have you. You're welcome. All right, now we also have with us this morning Honorable Folashade Olabanji Oba. Yes, we got her name this morning. She's the Vice Chairman, Ikorodu Local Government. She's also the National Deputy Chairman, Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, talking about 774 local governments.
Thank you very much. You needed to stress.
Yeah, 774, a woman for that matter, and she's also an APC stalwart in Lagos State. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you.
Good to have you join us. For you to be the National Deputy Chairman of 774 local governments in Nigeria. You are a superwoman, you know.
Really?
Yeah. No, you know, it's one thing to even be considered for that position. That means your hands are always on deck.
It's a privilege, but then it's also a
lot of work.
Yeah, more work.
All right, so you're both welcome to Summit. All right, now I saw this rating this morning while I was doing a little research on this issue of women participation in politics, and I saw that Nigeria currently ranks 181 out of 193 countries that allows women participation in politics. Now that's low, 181 all over 193. Now if you're in a classroom, you have automatically failed, you know, but what's your reaction to that ranking?
Well, unfortunately, it is what it is. There are some things that you cannot do anything about. That's the way we're rated, that's the way we're viewed, and I am glad that at least I'm elated this morning. I have someone who is Vice Chairman of all the local government in Nigeria. And what that means is we're probably work in progress. It's just that, well, this snail speed is pathetic. It's pathetic because if you take a statistics of everything that is governance and women participation in Nigeria, you would agree with me that it is ridiculous, very ridiculous. You look at, for example, the House of Representatives, we have 360 members in that house. And we have just 22 women, and I'm wondering, in 360. The upper chamber, the Senate, we have 109 senators, we have just 7 women. In the entire House of Assembly across the entire nation, we have 990 people, you know, as the members, and we have just 55 women. And so I am not going to fault the rating because the real thing, you can equate it to what's on ground. It is sad. I pray that with time we're able to, you know, pop it up a bit, but
for now,
it's really sad.
All right, now let me go to Honorable Folashade Olabanji Oba. During the elections, the president actually, or let me say APC, the administration led by President Buhari, actually promised 35% women participation in his cabinet. Now, that was a campaign promise because women came all out. I'm sure you were actively involved during the elections, and women were actively involved in campaigning, and that was his promise to them. Now, after the elections, the ministerial list is out, and we only have a 7% women inclusion in that list. How would you react to that?
Well,
is it an oversight or a deliberate
definitely
thing?
Not. His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari is a man of action. If he says it, then definitely I know he would do everything possible to make up the numbers. Politics, like we say, is a numbers game. So definitely when you talk about the women participation, most times on election days, we're the ones that are always there. But then, it is what it is, we are here. The numbers that are actually involved at that level, it's not that many. We need to work on that number to where, you know, I mean, the business of running Nigeria is not to be with kid's glove. And this time around, I'm sure you know, being his second term, he wanted to be sure. I mean, you will see that a lot of the former cabinet members returned. Continuity, he wanted to make sure that come 2023, definitely we're going to still be the party of choice. And I'm sure Nigerians will be happy with us at the end of the day. Now, going back to the women, it's not yet over. The numbers are going to definitely come up, you know, as we go into the next few weeks and all that. After this screening, you know, there's still going to be some... Oh, well, you know, the cabinet is what you have just talked about. But you're talking about the federal government, the total overall, and there's still going to be a lot of appointments and all that. And I know that we're going to definitely have more women.
We should have some more,
come on board,
okay.
yes.
All right, now I would like your view to this same question.
Okay. Just like what I said earlier, I'm saying that it is too poor.
It's a poor way.
My reaction is it's totally poor. And, you know, firstly, let me start by saying that I'm speaking as somebody who's gender biased, speaking as somebody who is a female advocate. It's beyond party lines. I'm not a politician on this set this morning. I am somebody who is saying women must dare to speak above a whisper. I'm speaking for the women. I'm standing by the women. We have been shortchanged long enough. It's a shame that we have 42 names released and just 7 women. I want to ask a question. Are you saying that we don't have women who deserve to hold, you know, ministerial positions in this nation? It is sad that all of the electoral promises that we have had from the very beginning of this government, nothing has come, nothing has happened. And we're in the eye of the world right now, and everything happening just breaks my heart on a daily basis. It breaks my heart because we are the one who does 95% of the job during electioneering period. We are the ones who would make it, all the songs, we sing it, we dance behind them, we take our youths, you know, tell our children, come out, make sure this is what you're doing. I think the youngest youth we have in that cabinet is 53, Festus Keyamo. Again, I weep. It is sad. It is really so sad. As a woman, it's a clarion call to the women to begin to, you know, look beyond being a slave to anybody politically. It's no longer business as usual where we say, oh, this godfatherism that makes you lose your senses, that makes stupidity the order of the day for you. And then you cannot see, your gratification is not beyond, oh, don't worry, if there's a slot for something, we'll just fix you there. If it's time to go to Jerusalem, you bring your list, we will deal with it. And there are some boards that we can put you. What stops us, you know, from moving higher? The president said that, oh, I took my time to form my cabinet because I wanted to know the people. About 12, 13 people came back. I'm wondering. And then he says, I need to know the people. I am asking, which new person came on board? Which person who hasn't, you know, had a political antecedent came on board? For me, that list, and this is my personal opinion, is a list of saying thank you for thus far in 2015 election, the 2019 election. Thank you for whatever you did during that election. It isn't a list for proper governance. We're not ready.
All right. Now, during the PDP administration, especially the President Goodluck Jonathan administration, you know, there was more. It was very apparent that women were given the opportunity to govern. Women were given the opportunity to oversee different sectors in the economy. And but in this administration, it's not really so. women are a bit on the silent part, except maybe the former Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, who was a bit up and doing. But in this administration, women seem to be on the quiet side. Now let's look at it from the angle of culture. Are we trying to say that, are we trying to bring in culture in this administration where women should be quiet, women should be docile, women should only be seen and not heard? Is it what is playing out in this administration?
Well, that definitely is not the case. We cannot move forward looking in the rearview mirror. And you going back to President Jonathan, I'm not here to condemn any government, but obviously we all know what happened. I thank God that the APC government came in at the time that we did. Only God knows where Nigeria would have been by now. I mean, we were all, you know, in recession, more or less. It was, you know, so much impunities. And so for us, we say no pain, no gain. It's a bit tough. Women, definitely, we are nation builders. We, you know, I can canvass for women from now till tomorrow. But gender, yes, but not just because you're a woman, you get a position. It must be merit, okay? It must be, you know, that's, I probably will come at it from another angle, that we need to go back to the drawing table, feel ourselves up. I mean, the knowledge and understanding come together and push. But pushing forward is not only just because you're a woman, so we must be given a seat at the table. It just says that more enlightenment, educating and all that, to where, you know, obviously you can't give what you don't have. Over the years, we had been in the back burner, you know, based on, you talked about cultural baggages, religious, whatever, to where, you know, the numbers. So we're just barely really bridging up the gap. That number that you're talking about didn't just happen today, okay? So, but we're changing the narratives, the dialogue, the acceptance that minimum of 35% needs to be. I think that's still a plus in that direction. Now, how we arrive at it, making sure we don't put the wrong people in, you know, based on sentiments and all that. We also need to be careful. The state of the nation right now is, it's like we need serious, strategic people that can really fit in that, so that we can get us to get into the Nigeria of our dreams.
All right, now you said something about merit.
Yes.
That there are those who actually, it should be aspiration for women who merit
I agree
such
with you.
positions.
I agree with her, absolutely.
Yes. But it doesn't mean that, still talking about that issue of merit, doesn't mean that looking around within the country, even outside the country, doesn't mean that we don't have women who merit.
We have more women.
We
have
do.
more women who merit more than men in this society. Look at bank executives. A lot of the bank executives that you have are women who've been able. You look at their worshipers. There are a lot of women who have proven time and time again that, and you see, it's funny because it's the same women who do not merit it that you put together to strategically form your campaign and help your campaign thrive, and probably help, you know, get people vote you into position. And the moment they just do that, they become senseless again. I don't get it. This native intelligence that you banked on when you needed to get in power, what suddenly happened to it? We make it seem like you need to have a particular qualification to be able to hold a ministry, and sometimes native intelligence. Look at Baba Adedibo, for example. He wasn't lettered. He wasn't educated, as it were. He had native intelligence, and he was able to hold himself where he was. So, and you know, there are a whole lot of people like that. There are a lot of women who, Eladi Kwali, for example, what was her education? What educational background did she have? Queen Amina. What educational background do they have? I'm saying that any woman who as much as has this little sense in helping you become whatever you are, that woman deserves to speak above a whisper. We deserve better than putting us in some boards that is not portraying us, and then we keep recycling people. Like we don't even have intellectuals. And then our people go out of this country. You find out that we have the best doctors abroad. We have the best engineers abroad. What's happening? Are we not tired of putting round pegs in square holes? The cultural inhibitions have been there from time immemorial, and we're breaking even. It's getting better daily. So why is it not getting better government-wise? Why is it not being reflected in the government of day-to-day? That woman who can sit together and say, oh, okay, this is how we can conquer this local government. You think that woman will not be able to turn around the ministry? Yeah, I agree that women sometimes we have excesses, but if you take a percentage of the excesses that we have had in government, they may have been worse.
Yes, I think that's one question I actually want to go to.
Yeah, they may
don't
have
you
been
think
worse.
that women would have this ability and the capability, especially because we are very sensitive?
That's it.
You know, we are very perceptive. You know, don't you think that if women have more opportunity, or if they are given more roles to play in governance, women will be able to, you know,
no, definitely the country would
then
definitely be much better at it. But I'm just telling you, it takes much more to be able to put people in those kind of positions. Like we go back to numbers game. If you're going to do elections, you know, maybe if you have 100 people in a room, and in that room, you already have 70 men, 30 women. When they do the voting, I'm just giving that as an example, definitely the numbers is still going to be more men than women. So I am saying we need to encourage more women to actually fill in the spaces first. Occupy your space, okay? Then it's a lot easier when it comes to those times you need to nominate. You get, you know, more choices and all that. Rather than running away, you can't give what you don't have. We should stop to complain. No matter what, come on board.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Ma. You have already achieved a kind of milestone in politics.
I'm a work in progress.
Yeah,
I'm still learning by the day.
For you to be the deputy vice chair, or the vice, is it vice deputy?
Well, national deputy.
Of
yes.
774 local governments.
Yeah.
It speaks a lot about the kind of woman that you are.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that women seeking roles or getting involved should be by seeking the roles or offered the slots?
No, power is not served a la carte, definitely.
Especially because we're in democracy.
Yeah, it's not served a la carte. I mean, most times as a woman, you probably have to prove yourself twice over for you to be even given the same opportunity as a man. It's the truth. And so you find that in order to survive in the polity, you really must have a heart. And you really must have the trust of the leadership. The policies are there. I mean, I'm talking about APC now. Definitely, it is included in our policies. We make things a lot easier for the women. But if they're not, you know, meeting up in just maybe requirements and all that. So I'm saying we need to all hold each other up now and help one another, you know. And so it's not just one day. It takes a lot into you building that woman that you would say can truly represent us all. You know, unfortunately, in the past, one or two is what they keep banging back at us. After all, we gave you that opportunity. You guys did this, you know. So, but right now, no more excuses. I am saying every woman out there, come, you know, be there, occupy your space, and you know what? Be the very best ambassador as a woman to where every man would really put their hands up to have a woman in that place of...
All right. Okay, now my question to you would be that you are also an Okay, you said you're not here as a politician.
Yeah, I'm not here
but
as a politician.
I want to bring him back into
She
politics.
just said that. She's here as everything.
It's okay.
I want to bring
know
you
her.
back into politics because you are a member of the PDP.
Of course. Proudly
a registered member of the
Yes.
PDP. Now, you are also a woman. Now, let's talk about inter-party democracy now.
Yes.
You've proved yourself to be able to contest for the federal constituency, Ifakoja,
Yes.
local government area. Now, how does it play out, especially with women, when you talk about internal party democracy?
Well, if you look at the precedences, you would have the answer already. You would agree with me during Jonathan's time, we had 25% representation. So that tells you what the PDP is about. The PDP is not about using women. It's not about giving them piecemeals as gratification. My sister was saying the other time that politically you get to a room, you find 70% of women.
No, that was an example.
I know. I know. My statistics says 51% of the voting populace, of those who are actively involved in politics, are women. And so you have about now 27 as youths. So the percentage of the men is small. But what do we have? We have a lot of patriarchy. A woman trying to pull down another woman because they have to stand with a man. A woman being the enemy of another woman.
That's internal
That's,
party.
yes, it happens
That's
and
how it
says,
works.
who is she? Why do you think she would do it? And then again, like I have said, that you have the cultural inhibitions, you have the traditional inhibitions, you have the religious inhibitions. But I thank God that all of that is breaking up because I'm a northern and I'm from the north. I'm from Maiduguri. Even from where I come from now, a lot of women, you know, I've dared to speak above a whisper. We're saying, well, with our veils we can talk. With our veils we can see. This is not the sort of governance that we desire. This is not what we were promised. You cannot, like, I mean, she's right. My daddy, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says, power is not served a la carte. I agree with you absolutely. But you see, sometimes when things are not served a la carte, what sort of platform are you giving? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you say, oh, women are not coming out. They don't want to contest. They don't, you know, they don't dare. Do they have the financial capabilities? They have so much squashed women, so much so that they have made us, you know, they have reduced us to praise singers. And that's why when I look at women who have children, sing behind male politicians, especially when a female is contesting, I weep because I look at their children and say, well, that's why you guys end up this way. That's why the street urchins keeps, you know, increasing on a daily basis. And that's why it just looks like we're static because governance is beyond, it should be doable and achievable to the electorate, to the common man. Governance is beyond this gratification of, oh, during my elections, he gave me such money, he did this for me. Service. What is the place of service in governance? I said, I didn't want to speak as a politician because I don't want to be seen as somebody who is condemning the government of the day. But I'm telling you that we've never had it so bad in Nigeria.
And your opinion, and opinions are cheap.
No,
okay?
but that's what I'm saying.
No,
it is my opinion. Talk is cheap.
Yeah, talk is cheap.
I mean, everybody can't speak for themselves. But
know,
Nigerians are no longer stupid. They can read the handwriting on the wall. We all go on social media. So we can't see feedbacks. Let us stop fooling ourselves. It is, this is reality now.
All right.
We are mothers that will be accountable for our tomorrow.
You're just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But
no, she's my sister. She knows.
She knows
a mother.
She knows what.
She's a mother that knows
I thank God for the APC
you know,
government any day. And so when you're talking on just social media. Social media, fantastic. But the real thing here is the governance of the day.
All right,
and
just hold that. Hold that thought. We'll start off from that when we return from the break. We'll go on a quick break, and there's still so much to say. We'll continue after then. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happen, with good laws,
proper funding,
training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
if it happens.
If it happen.
Walk on the streets of Lagos.
All right, you're welcome back. Good to have you join us again. You can be part of this conversation by calling in on the program. The number will be displayed on the screen. And don't forget, we still also have our social media platforms. Ask Summit TV at gmail.com. We also have our Facebook account, Summit TV/Summit TV.org. YouTube is Summit TV. And then Instagram handle is Summit_current trends. After this program, you can still be part of the conversation. Let's know your mind towards women participation in politics. All right, now before we went on that break, we were talking about internal party democracy, where you have women who have actually worked, let me use the word slaved.
Slaved, that's the better
let me
word.
use the word slaved, because that's the only word you can use to coin the way women work hard, you know, for the party. But why is it that even at party level, we don't look inwards to actually, let me use the word also here, reward these women for their level of participation?
Well,
I hope I'm not giving you a hard one.
No, it's not that, but these are all things that you're just assuming. She can talk for her party. I definitely will talk for my party. And what you say we don't have, I know we do have, because I'm in-house and I know definitely what has happened over the years. You know, we came from one state to where, you know, it's definitely the party of choice to take Nigeria really to that great higher next level. Now, talking about the women, she got me wrong when I was talking about, you know, what it takes to actually make it, maybe the House of Assembly, House of Rep, House of, you know, the Senate and all that. And I said, if you look at the numbers in there, definitely when they're making policies and all that, if the men are more, you're going to be like, you won't get things so fast done for, you know, in favor of the women. And so that's why I said we ourselves need to go back to the basics and make sure we work hard from the foundation to making sure we occupy our space. You know, we're overlooking so many positions out there. We're only concentrating on what, but you know, we're a country of over 200 million. And in every level or cadre of governance, you know, if we make sure we occupy those spaces, definitely the numbers are going to be better, okay? And definitely...
okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, please, could you speak louder? Good morning, I can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from? Ifakojaye. Oh, you're somebody from your constituency.
Good.
All right, please go on. Hello, you can go on. Go on. All right. Yeah, I can hear you. Please go on. All right. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so he's talking about, he's even taking it out of our line of discussion, talking about the youth appointment also into the ministerial level, you know. But he's saying that the federal government is not including enough women, you know, in that in those appointments.
That's obvious.
Yeah, so
that's a statement of fact.
The voice of
7% far cry from 35% affirmative action.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the sudden withdrawal of the female presidential frontrunner, Obi Ezekwesili, during the 2019 elections. Barely 1 month to the polls. Was it
a month?
Maybe less than a month.
I think it was about 2 weeks.
Yeah, to the polls. Now, did this further throw into disarray the rising gender inequality among women in politics? Did this worsen the situation, in your opinion?
Of course it did. You know, that's something that I say. My sister was saying that, you know, I think I misconstrued what she meant, but thank God that she explained. And even from her explanation, I'm going to take it up again. We say that, oh, we're encouraging more women to come out and contest for elections. And so I ask, come out and contest for elections where you have party leadership that says to you, no, step down.
Okay, let's take
this person
hold
come.
Hold it. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning. I can hear you. All right, we lost it, please.
You know, and then it says, no, that this thing is about, you know, it's Olegbe. I'm saying it the Yoruba way. You cannot, when did you come? You have to come. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what you're bringing to the table. Godfatherism is the order of the day. So you have to step down for this person. And we all knew what went down in 2019. In fact, from the inception of election in Nigeria, we all know what goes down. You know, how would women be encouraged to come out? Somebody from my constituency just called, and I say it's on the program every day, and thank God you have had a reason to come on ground to say. We have been having senators, House of Rep, House of Assembly for 18 years. Nobody has done quarter of what I have done. And that's a big shame for me.
Hello, good morning. Hello? All right, we lost the call.
And that's a big shame for me because I'm sure you were shocked during elections and the outcome. Again, I'm saying this is what happens. There's a lot of manipulations that goes on, and somebody was speaking to me yesterday and said, up until now, what's this? I said, no problem, Emumora. That's just the way it is.
All right, let's take another
Let's
call.
keep.
Hello, good morning.
Let's keep enjoying it.
Hello, good morning. Hello? All right, please, let's just round up on this discussion now. Now, issue of women in politics, is it fixable? And how?
Definitely. And for me, I say we're on our way there. A definite affirmative yes. And we're on our way there because definitely we are not where we used to be. Okay? We're not where we need to be, but we are on our way to where we need to be. And so it's still like what I said, you know, the girl child. How do we raise our girl child? The boys, acceptance that, you know, equal opportunities must be the order of the day. And then making gender-friendly policies to actually encourage the women participation, creating a more secured environment to where, you know, and when she talked about APC not doing anything, you know, I mean, how much, I don't know where she got all those, I don't want to say fallacies or whatever from, because
which one?
When you were talking about godfatherism and how they
it's not just in APC,
no.
it's everywhere.
Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, but you went ahead and said in 18 years of government.
I'm speaking for my...
Hold on.
I'm speaking for my
constituency. Government, in your constituency.
Thank you, and I can speak as
for
an authority. You can't speak as an authority.
All of them put together. Hold on. All of them put together. In 18 years, I have not done quarter of what you have done. Governance is more than just borehole.
I have empowered you. See, I cannot begin to realize.
And that's, I'm trying to take this away from personalization now. Let's talk about governance.
You see,
okay?
It is sad.
Let's talk about governance. But we need to be fair. When we're talking, we must be fair in what our utterances. We don't need to do things or say things that we hit up polity negatively, especially when it is not on proven facts.
right.
It's not fair.
So what will be your final word to women now? Because 2023 is coming again. Let's even say we don't have much to do anymore in this administration. Let's look ahead. What would you say to women?
Well, I would plead that we need to occupy our place, raise up our children, you know, to where everybody does not feel limited. Every child, girl, boy, is raised to take charge of the society, you know, accountability and be responsible, not limiting themselves just because they're women. Also, get the education, you know, work on your attitudes and, you know, I'm talking about character and all that. Because getting the book part is one thing, street credibility is also another. So your character is also very important, but you must have a heart. You must not give up. You must create that enabling, you know.
That's okay. Let's have our own final words.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much.
Looking ahead 2023,
yes,
what should women do?
I don't want to plead with the women again because they're tired of, you know, being pleaded with. I want to encourage the women to get up. It is time for us to be assertive. It is time for us to stop fooling ourselves and living in a fool's paradise. We've heard these stories for too long. We're tired of tales being told. You can see things happening around us. There's nothing that has been friendly. I'm speaking as a mother this morning. I'm heartbroken. You have not had the percentage of unemployment, you know, in the last 6 years has been alarming. So I'm saying that women, it is time for people to stop fooling you. It is time for you to stop following people because you have been told to follow them. It is time for you to stop reducing yourself to just instruments of elections. Get up, rise up, dare to speak above a whisper. Look at people in the face. Above all, be just. Because if we have equity and fairness and justice as women, we will not have issues. I will not come out and defend a government that hasn't done my children or my mother or my sisters well. I will not.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. Two heavyweight women and speaking from different divides.
In the food.
All right,
APC has not been in government for 18 years. And she complained about 18 years. So definitely that was...
18 years
all right, thank you. That's our program this morning. We'll see you again next week, Monday. I am Timoke Michaels. Bye-bye.
You have not had a PDP as House of Rep or House of Assembly in Ifako. You have been to...
But we didn't have APC either. It was not APC.
Bye-bye.